What's up, guys? Jokabot here, and today we're doing a very special stream today because this time I won't be doing any gameplay today, but I have something in mind that's been trending a lot, like a hell of a long time, or at least a short time into time of this recording, for a couple of days. It's not an entire week yet, but right now it is Evil Week, which is we're going to talk about a lot of fighting games, more specifically one or two things. One or two things because there's been a lot of announcements that's coming up, including the recent announcements in the prior that is from the Nintendo Direct, that is Marvel vs. Capcom Collection that's been shadow announced, which is wild because holy shit, which is wild. Of course, this amps up a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom fans, including Maximilian, dude, who has been trending a lot in the past couple or since the release of Marvel Anniversary Collection. But there's been a lot of trending regarding to Marvel vs. Capcom, but specifically, and if I can bring it up, this list here in Twitter or X, or either which one would you prefer. This been trending a lot, which to the point it got so many people making a list of which characters should be coming to Marvel vs. Capcom 4 if it ever comes out. So, without further ado, so instead of just waiting around, why not just do like everyone does, make their own list of what characters should be in for Marvel vs. Capcom 4, because I really do want Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Why won't you give us that, Capcom? But of course, the failure of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite shows itself that they're afraid to release a new Capcom or Marvel vs. Capcom title because of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite's failure. So, since the announcement of Marvel vs. Capcom Anniversary Collection, this got everyone amped up for the Anniversary Collection, which leads up to probably wanting for Marvel vs. Capcom 4, and hopefully they won't just share the same fate as Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I don't want to relive that trauma of bad netcode and holy shitty graphics and low rosters. So, why not just do one that is, well, pandering, that I would want to see the next characters to be the base roster for Marvel vs. Capcom 4. So, why not start? So, let's start with the Marvel side, which by the way, let's start with the obvious one. Let's put out the obvious. On the Marvel side, we get, let's see if I can just hit. Let's start with the obvious. Oops. Start with Iron Man. Yes, I'm writing this with a mouse. Hold on, let me just, because I'm super lazy to get my own tablet and start writing the names, because and I'm super lazy to ever. And I gotta say here, I'm super lazy to There we go. To post up, put up videos. I'm not videos. Put up. Well. Photos because it would take a lot of time for me to do so. Blech. Blech, that's a small D. There we go. For the obvious Marvel side, we got Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and Spider-Man, which is on the obvious side. Also, hold on a minute. Actually, let's put this more on the obvious list. There. The obvious 6. Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Spider-Man, Storm, and Wolverine. That's the obvious 6 that I'm going to put here because... That, because... I can't even speak English. Because they've been in the base roster ever since the first Marvel vs. Capcom game. Almost specifically... Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. So, you cannot have Marvel vs. Capcom without Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man, Storm, or Wolverine, or even the X-Men. You cannot have Marvel vs. Capcom without the X-Men characters. And speaking of Marvel vs. Capcom base roster, let me switch up. Where's my blue? Oh my god. There we go, the perfect blue. Here we go. Base roster, Ryu. Oops. Chun-Li, Ken, which, by the way, there we go. Strider. Who should be? Oh my god, I tried to remember which character was in the base roster. Oh yeah. Here, and one more. Oh my god. Now I'm having brain fog who is the character. Ugh. Oh yeah. Here. Base roster for Capcom, Ryu, Chun-Li, Ken, Strider, Mega Man, and Morgan. Because they have been in a lot of Mega Man games, a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom games for a very long time. So, what's a better way to give us the initial base roster or an initial mainstays of Marvel vs. Capcom is Marvel side, Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Spider-Man, Storm, Wolverine, and on the Capcom side, Ryu, Chun-Li, Ken, Strider, Mega Man, and Morgan from Darkstalkers. So, with that, now we get to what are the characters going to be in Marvel vs. Capcom. So we're going to start off with Marvel's side. The first character, the first character we're going to first introduce is the X-Men characters, because people have been clamoring for X-Men characters ever since every titles, because you cannot have an Marvel vs. Capcom without the X-Men characters, because they've been the quintessential of Marvel vs. Capcom, because their name literally began as X-Men Children of the Atom. Literally the technically first Marvel vs. Capcom game. So what better way to start with the X-Men characters? So let's start with so we already got Storm and Wolverine here. Let's start with another character that everyone knows and loves. Cyclops. He has been an ultimately fan favorite among the Marvel vs. Capcom side, and most fan favorite with the X-Men series, of course the comics, games, and the show, and with the recent X-Men 97 that just finished and possibly go to get season 2. So what better way to start off with the most fan favorite character and the most fan requested character. And now we got the second character, that is I spelled his name wrong. Magneto. He has also been a fan favorite and also been majority of Marvel vs. Capcom games, except for MvC4. So what better way to get not only Cyclops but also Magneto into the mix, because again, you can't have a Marvel vs. Capcom game without the X-Men characters. And also, let's add one more X-Men character, and that is Gambit. He is also another among the fan favorites, with the inclusion of X-Men 97 show, which the drama. And now, what better way to not only get Magneto and Cyclops into the mix, but also Gambit as well. And let's add one more X-Men character that's going to be unexpected to a lot of people, but at the same time expected, because the majority of people want this specific character to be in the base roster of Marvel vs. Capcom, and that is, of course, my personal request, Beast. He has never been in any of the Marvel vs. Capcom games ever. He's always been as a background character, but not part of the base roster or part of the main game, which is really weird to have him not be a part of a single Marvel vs. Capcom game ever. He didn't even appear in Children of the Atom 2. He's always been a side character, so why not put him as a base roster as in the next Marvel vs. Capcom game? And please, Capcom, put Beast in Marvel vs. Capcom. I beg of you. We needed him. Of course, that's the end of the X-Men side of things. Some people may request Psylocke, but to me, my honest opinion, I don't see her as a part of a base roster. Maybe DLC, maybe, but not part of a base roster. So, in my honest opinion, I don't think she would be part of the main game. So, why not just put Beast instead of Psylocke? But anyway, that's enough of X-Men style things. Why not go for, well, from another familiar side of familiar title? Oh yeah, Fantastic Four. And what better way to get an obvious, oops, the Doom. Oops, I got the extra O there, but what better way to get Dr. Doom to return to Marvel vs. Capcom ever since his absence in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? So what better way to get him back to Marvel vs. Capcom? And of course, let's do another Fantastic Four character, and that is... let me see if I can remember his name. Oh yeah. What better way to introduce another character, and that is... Silver Surfer, because there has been many concepts on Marvel vs. Capcom 3 that it has a lot of cut content, a lot of cut characters that didn't make it into the base roster of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Marvel vs. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So what better way to introduce Silver Surfer into the mix, because he has been cut in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So what better way to introduce him in Marvel vs. Capcom 4? And let's introduce one more Fantastic Four character, and that is... Let me mix it. Here we go. Let me put this to max size. Oh my god, I tried to remember his name. It's been a while since I remember his name. Come on, brain. Don't fail me now. Oh yeah. Sauron the dinosaur. The genius dinosaur. Who has been... We're in the beginning of the early Stan Lee comics of Fantastic Four. So what better way to introduce him to Marvel vs. Capcom, which, by the way, actually, along with Sauron, let's put in here. Along with Sauron, let's reintroduce Firebrand into Marvel vs. Capcom 4, because why not do a dinosaur and demon combined? A combination between two flight characters, who both of them look like dinosaurs, also demon from hell. So why not introduce them to each other and team up to each other? Alright, that should be the end of the Fantastic Four side. Actually, let's do one more. He was also one of the cut content for Marvel vs. Capcom, at least the third Marvel vs. Capcom game, and that is the Human Torch. There's been a lot of concept that this should be one more character that should represent the Fantastic Four. Many of the developer team have been wanting for Mr. Fantastic, the Thing, Human Torch, and Invisible Girl that want to be in the base game, but there's too much characters that couldn't even make it to the base roster, so they combine all the main crew of the Fantastic Four, Human Torch, the thing, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, and Invisible Girl, i.e. Ben Grimm, Susan Storm, Miss Reed Richards, and oh my god, I got brain fog. Fantastic Four. I haven't read or watched Fantastic Four in a very long time, so it's escaping from my head. I am so old. So, what better way to introduce the Human Torch into the Marvel vs. Capcom game? Oh, Johnny's Storm. Now that's what I remember. And speaking of Johnny, let's do 2 more. Actually, 3 more for a specific game. That is Ghost Rider, Blackheart, and actually no. Yes, no. Actually, yeah. These 2. I don't know why I thought 3. I meant 2. I don't know why I thought 3. I thought Dormammu was a Ghost Rider character until I remembered. No, he is specifically a Doctor Strange character, which actually put him into the mix. Put them to the mix. Doctor Strange and Dormammu. Here. Now we got Ghost Rider, Blackheart, Doctor Strange, and Dormammu, which we got in Ghost Rider in the 3rd Marvel vs. Capcom game, including Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And we haven't got Blackheart for a very long time, ever since Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And he was one of the cut characters from Marvel 3, but he's completely cut entirely because during the development of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they have gotten so much characters that they have to dwindle down a bit because they think it's too much characters to put in. And there's so little data that the single discs can handle. So he was completely cut from the game. So why not reintroduce Blackheart into Marvel vs. Capcom, and we introduce Doctor Strange and Dormammu into the mix. And of course, Blackheart, of course, these 4 have been fan favorites for the majority of the time, including Blackheart because he hasn't been around ever since MvC4. So, bring him back, Capcom. So that's enough of these 4. And also, let's bring up Spider-Man, because since we got Spider-Man into the mix, let's put up the obvious and put up the most obvious character that should be in the base roster, and that's Venom. He has been fan favorite, which, to be completely honest, he is also very tiring. That we got so many Venom content that to a point that he got his own comic, which is good for at the time, to a point where his modern comics just completely jumped shark to a point where it become Venom overload. So what better way to put Venom into the base roster, and let's bring this specific character into the list, and that is wrong spelling. But you know what I get. Green Goblin. No, Green Goblin. He has not been in a fighting game ever. Even Marvel vs. Capcom standards. So what better way to introduce the classic, iconic Green Devil himself, the Green Goblin, or even the Hobgoblin. You know what? How about this? Put in either here. You could put either Green Goblin or the Hobgoblin, but the majority of the fans would want the Green Devil himself. He is ultimately iconic. Or the Hobgoblin, like with the Hobgoblin sword that he has in the inventory. But people have been wanting a Green Goblin in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, so why not do that? So enough with the Spider-Man. Let's get to another iconic Marvel title, which completely leaving my mind because there's so many Marvel comics that's been in a long run. Keep in mind, I'm a huge DC fan, more of a Marvel fan, but there's so much Marvel oh, you know what? Actually, here, what better way to not only introduce Daredevil, but ooh, you know what? Hold on. Here, put in not only Daredevil, but Blade too, because they have never been in a fighting game ever. Most specifically, Marvel vs. Capcom. So what better way to introduce two new characters that's from their own titles, comic titles, such as the Daredevil and Blade. And of course, there's a popular Daredevil show that's been widely popular for a lot of fans in the Netflix, or from Netflix, or was from Netflix before Disney bought it. So why not, for a better way to introduce Daredevil in Marvel vs. Capcom, and of course, why not introduce Blade? Because with him and the thingamajig with the Blade movie title by Disney, which there's so much rewrite, so much directors directing the movie. So why not better way to get the hype with a Blade character to be in Marvel vs. Capcom, since he has been appeared in Marvel vs. Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4 as DLC. I did not play Marvel Alliance, so I don't know about that. But why not introduce Blade into the spotlight? And speaking of, this is my personal, and I do hope that Capcom or let Marvel get this, and that is here, Werewolf by Night. He has been always the underdog of Marvel Comics, and he has never been in a major spotlight ever, with the exception of the Werewolf by Night special. But of course I said specifically special because he has been the least popular character ever since, and he's one of the most that a lot of fans or a lot of people that's gone under the radar, and this is one of the most underrated character ever, and I hope this character ever gets into Marvel vs. Capcom. And speaking Night, and I know it's spelling error, but who cares? Moon Knight. He has never been in a Marvel vs. Capcom game ever since ever. And if I were to remember, here's also another one of the cut content or cut character that for Marvel 3. So one not better way to introduce Moon Knight into Marvel vs. Capcom. And with the recent popular of the Moon Knight TV show, which I highly recommend. So what better way to introduce Moon Knight into Marvel vs. Capcom? So okay, there goes my random picks. Let's go for the unexpected character. So what better way to... Okay, let's do the expected one first. Yeah. Deadpool. Of course, he's one of the most ultimately fan favorite. And of course, with the recent Deadpool versus Deadpool and Wolverine coming out in theaters, what better way to reintroduce Deadpool in Marvel vs. Capcom 4 since his only appearance is Marvel 3? So what better way to introduce the goofball wild card into the mix? And speaking of character from Deadpool, now of course this is a X-Men pick. Bring back Cable. His only major appearance was specifically Marvel 2. He has never been in any other Marvel vs. Capcom game ever. So, what better way to reintroduce Cable is Marvel vs. Capcom 4. So, now let's get to the unexpected characters. I'm not gonna pick Sentinel. I just gotta say this right outright. No Sentinel here. Sentinel has been wildly broken in Marvel 3. So I'm not gonna ever bring him back in Marvel 4. He sucks in Marvel 3. I'm not in Marvel 3. Marvel 2. But I'm not gonna bring him back in Marvel 4 because he's been very OP in Marvel 4. I'm Marvel 3. Oh my god, I mixed up games a lot. So... Ooh, you know who should be in the game? Let's bring the unexpected character that should be in the game. And that is... Oh wow. I can't figure out a character because I haven't read Marvel comics in a long ass time, so let's bring up a random character for my mind. Okay, come on brain, help me out here because I cannot imagine it on my own. Wow. Okay. You know who should be in the game? Here. Let's add 2 more. Let's add 2 from this specific roster, and that is Star-Lord and Ronin, because neither of these characters has ever been in a spotlight in Marvel vs. Capcom ever. The only 2 characters that's ever gotten a Guardians of the Galaxy rep was Gamora and Rocket Raccoon. So what better way to bring back? Actually, let's add Rocket just for shits and giggles. Here we go. Star-Lord, Ronin, and Rocket Raccoon base roster as as Marvel vs. Capcom rep. Of course, obviously, we got Rocket Raccoon, who was already introduced in Marvel 3 and reintroduced again in Marvel Infinite. So what better way to reintroduce him in Marvel 4 as the gimmick trap character, which is he is widely known. And why not introduce Star-Lord into Marvel vs. Capcom in Marvel vs. Capcom 4, and also introduce Ronin, who is a brand new character in Marvel 4, and of course one of the villains of Guardians of the Galaxy. So that is Guardians of the Galaxy rep. And let's introduce a wild card character. One of the most oddball characters that no one has introduced, and this character has been underrepresented in the majority of Marvel vs. Capcom games, and has never been in a Marvel vs. Capcom game ever. And that's why I'm going to pick out a random character from this specific comic that is one of the most fan favorite, and that is, let me see if I can spell this character right. And I do want this character to be in the game if Capcom or Marvel ever inclines, and that is Elsa Bloodstone. This specific character, has never been in a fighting game ever, and she's also one of the most underdog characters and one of the most badass characters ever. So why not reintroduce this beloved character into Marvel vs. Capcom, since she's never ever appeared in a single Marvel game, if I recall. Please call me out on this, but I don't think Elsa Bloodstone ever made an appearance in any video game, aside from cameos, but not as a playable character. So that should be it for the Marvel side. Let's head over to the Capcom side of things. And surprisingly enough, the only two non-superheroes that has never gotten a power is Elsa Bloodstone. So there you go. So, and of course there's Green Goblin, but you know what I mean. I mean a normal human being to say. But anyways, let's head over to the Capcom side. We already established that Ryu, Chun-Li, Ken, Strider, Mega Man, Morgan, and Firebrand should be, actually, minus my Firebrand, because I already said that when I inclined Sauron, but we already got these 6 as base roster. We all know that. Let's do a wild card here. The most oddball one, and that is, oops, what better way to introduce the new generation character, and that is Luke. There, I misspelled his name. But yes, what better way to introduce the new generation of Street Fighter characters, that is Luke. You cannot say no for that, because he has been among a fan favorite in Street Fighter, more specifically Street Fighter 6. And what better way to introduce him, just like Sea Viper that has been introduced in Marvel 3. What better way to introduce Luke into Marvel vs. Capcom for those who has never played a Street Fighter game, but has played a Marvel vs. Capcom game. And of course, we got Alex in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, so why not? And speaking of Street Fighter 6, among this, should he be? Nah, I'm just kidding. There's no way you can add JP into this what? How does JP go to play in? Actually, yeah, let's do a wild card one. Oops. Not only JP will be the ultimate zoner for Marvel vs. Capcom, he'll be one of the most weirdest characters to play in Marvel vs. Capcom. Not only he'll be a zoner, but he'll also be a ranged character because of his long amplitude of long range attacks and projectiles. How you go to get close to him? I don't know. But anyways, that's it for Street Fighter. Let's get back to Mega Man. More specifically, let's get the obvious out of the way. Zero. For obvious reasons. Here's one of the most favorite, actually. Let's do this. Let's do an oddball one. Zero, but oops. Let's pick out Zero from the Mega Man Zero series. Outside of CVS, we have never gotten Zero in a mainline Marvel vs. Capcom game. The only Zero that Zero from Mega Man Zero that we have gotten playable from a fighting game is SNK vs. Capcom Chaos or CVS Chaos. Although it was flopped or ultimately flopped, but it was highly fan favorite among the fighting games among the FCC. So why not put Zero from the Mega Man Zero series into Marvel vs. Capcom? Also, let me fix that E because that's been bothering me. And that A too. And also, this may be a wild card in this one, but along Zero, oh my god, yeah, among Zero, let's add this character. I misspelled his name. Oops. The Colonel from the Mega Man X series. Well, yeah, here we go. We have never gotten Colonel in a fighting game ever. He's been among the fan favorites in Mega Man Battle Network and Mega Man X, but he has never been playable in any of the Marvel vs. Capcom games or a fighting game in general. So what better way to introduce Colonel in a Marvel vs. Capcom game? And speaking of Mega Man X, let's introduce this specific character that I wish I would have wanted in my dreams. This is my personal favorite. Okay, let's add these two. With the addition of Street Fighter characters, let's add these two. There. There. Here we go. Magma Dragoon, and since we're done with Street Fighter characters, with the replacement of a Street Fighter character, why not add this character? Blech. Here we go. Magma Dragoon and Slash Beast. Now we got 3 characters from the X timeline And more specifically, these two will be replacements for our Akuma and Nash or Guile, if you want to be, if it were to be our replacements. So, Magma Dragoon, of course, he has some of the Ken's playstyle. He's specifically a Akuma-like gameplay with Akuma moves. Most specifically, the demon teleportation, the movements, the Gohados, the dive kick. He obviously has a dive kick like Akuma. So why not put Magma Dragoon into Marvel vs. Capcom and Slash Beast as well? He'll be our Nash since Nash is dead. So why not Slash Beast as a replacement of Nash or replacement of Gao, whichever you choose. So there will be our two Street Fighter replacements. And I would have wanted Blanca, but to be completely honest, I don't think Blanca would be fitting in this game. I mean, yes, he has been playable for like, only CVS, if I want to remember, but I don't think his playstyle would be fitting in this game. So the new Nash or Slash Beast would be the most fitting in this game. So let's pick out the most obvious two characters, and that is Chris Redfield and Wesker. Obviously, these two are among the fan favorites in the Resident Evil titles. So what better way to reintroduce them in Marvel vs. Capcom 4, along with some new characters such as Leon from Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 4, if we talk about the most popular fan favorite character, fan favorite Resident Evil game, but also Krauser, because why not? What better way to introduce these two new characters into Marvel vs. Capcom? Actually, let's introduce one more Resident Evil character, and that is, actually he should be DLC, but let's put this a split roster. Okay, for DLC, let's put DLC in this one. We want to put in William Birkin as a DLC character, just in case if this character doesn't enter. But if a case of a Resident Evil character that should be on here is the MvC4 MvC4 Jill Valentine, because MvC3 Jill Valentine sucks ass. So what better way to reintroduced the MvC4 version of Jill Valentine. Because she is one of the more fan favorites, more than the MvC3 version of Jill. So okay, that's enough of Resident Evil. So let's bring this character back. Is Dante from Devil May Cry and Virgil. And my God, that's a terrible spelling of Virgil. Hey. Oops. Here, these two are gotta be mainstays of Marvel vs. Capcom, because these two are one of the more popular characters in Marvel vs. Capcom. Along with one more new character should be on this list from the DMC rep, and that is Nero. More specifically, the DMC for Nero, because it is one of the games that he was introduced, so why not have him introduce him in Marvel vs. Capcom? And I gotta be completely honest, I do not like Nero's DMC5 design. Gotta be straight up out there. He reminds me too much of DMC Dante from the DMC reboot. So bring back the DMC4 design, because I like that design way more. So let's pick up a random, actually no, it's not random, but let's bring back Spencer, because why not? And to be completely honest, I have never played Captain Commando before, so I don't know any characters from Captain Commando. Captain Commando? I meant Bionic Commando. And speaking of Captain Commando, he should be in it too. I miss about Commando, don't I? Shit. There we go. He has never been in a fighting game in a long time, so what better way to reintroduce Captain Commando in Marvel vs. Capcom 4? Because his last debut was in Marvel 2. And we were disappointed that Captain Commando was not in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So, he should be a mainstay. And speaking of mainstays of Captain Commando, of course we got Captain Commando in it. What better way to reintroduce Jin from, oh my god, what was that game in, oh my god, I don't remember what game he was because I never played the game, but he was in Marvel 2, and that is Jin. Like I said, never played the specific game. Okay, I gotta look it up. Jin Satomote, which I gotta spell his name. Here we go. His first introduction was in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, if I want to remember. Ever since the very first Marvel vs. Capcom. So what better way to reintroduce Jin in Marvel vs. Capcom 4 and I want to go back to Darkstalkers. John Talbot should have been in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite for a very long ass time. So, what better way to introduce him in a fighting game, finally, in a crossover fighting game, finally, in Marvel vs. Capcom 4, along with John. We're going to reintroduce one of the more fan favorite devil antagonist, and that is, that name is escaping me. That name is escaping me. I swear to God, I remember these characters, but my memory is leaving me. I'm getting old real fast. Okay, here we go. The reintroduction of Jeddah, because I played him in MvC4, MvCI. He was a lot of fun. So what better way to reintroduce Jeddah in Marvel vs. Capcom 4 in a mainline Marvel vs. Capcom for once, not in a crappy game that is Infinite, but in a more fun way to introduce him in Marvel vs. Capcom, the mainline one. And let's do one more. Let's do this an oddball. An oddball out of left field, and that is BB Herd. Of course, she has been in a fighting game before, and that is CVS. But she has never been in a Marvel vs. Capcom title before, so why not introduce BB Herd in Marvel vs. Capcom? And with that, that's it for Darkstalkers. Darkstalkers has been trending a lot, which getting to people a lot of doing Darkstalkers, not only Darkstalkers memes, but also doing a huge memorabilia of Darkstalkers. So, what better way to get a lot of Darkstalkers representation in Marvel vs. Capcom? So, I never played this game before, so let me get this out of the way. Here. Let's do some characters from this specific game. Because I know one of my friends requested a specific character, and this one including my specific character, and that is, here we go. And Tessa and Leo. Outside of CVS Chaos, there's never been a Red Earth character that's ever been in a Marvel vs. Capcom game before. So, what better way to introduce Red Earth for Marvel vs. Capcom since, well, never, because wow, Red Earth has never been in a Marvel vs. Capcom game before outside of cameos or background characters, but not as a mainline playable character or base roster playable character. So let's have Tessa and Leo in this game, and let's do one more character. One more oddball character that's never been in Marvel vs. Capcom game before. One specific character that's never been in a versus game actually they had never been in a versus game ever. So this would be the introduction of this character in a base roster. Let me see if I can remember my character, my Capcoms. There's a long line of Capcom video games that never gotten a huge spotlight, and no Frank Rest this one. We already got a number of zombie characters or characters from the zombie title, but let's try an oddball out left field character. Let's pick out a character that's never been in a fighting game before. A character that's never been ever been in a versus title. We're going to pick out this specific character in this game, and that is one and only. We're going to pick out this specific character, and that is and it's going to confuse a lot of people. Oops. Whoa. I don't know why I got my expressions changed. But we're going to whoa. What the hell? Let's introduce one of the more characters that people have never played before, and among the fan favorites to a lot of people, because this game has been under the radar for a very long time, and that is Ryu. But not the Ryu that you think. Not Ryu from Street Fighter. Of course, we're going to clarify this one. This one's for Street Fighter. This one, on the other hand, this is the Ryu from Breath of Fire. Oops, I got the F wrong. Fake. If you're wondering which Ryu we're talking about, more specifically, Breath of Fire 3 Ryu. Because, whoa. Oops. This one. Here we go. Breath of Fire 3 Ryu. We have never gotten a single Breath of Fire representation in a fighting game outside of cameos. So what better way to introduce a Breath of Fire game that is Breath of Fire 3 Ryu. Now, of course, there's been a lot of Ryus in Breath of Fire because Ryu is the main character, obviously, but also he is named Ryu a bunch of times in a lot of Breath of Fire games, so he's specifically named Ryu for that. He has no other names than Ryu. You know, in retrospect, why did they not give him other names other than Ryu? Because we already have 2 Ryus. But what better way to introduce Breath of Fire 3 Ryu, which, by the way, Breath of Fire 3 Ryu. Actually, let's do this. That's a 1-3. That's a word. There. Breath of Fire 3 Ryu. So that's it. That's all my list of characters. That's the entire list of Marvel vs. Capcom that I wish would want to be in the base roster for Marvel vs. Capcom 4, if it is ever one. But that is my entire list and for my entire wish list of Marvel vs. Capcom 4. If there is gonna be Marvel vs. Capcom 4, please Capcom, do this for the fans. You already have us on the Marvel vs. Capcom Anniversary Collection. Let's talk about another topic. More specifically, but what better way is to bring up this topic in the elephant in the room, is the upcoming Season 3 characters is this specific image. But of course, we all know the obvious, who is in the photo, and that is Mature and Vice. However, there's something that is questioning. They said special character, not special characters. So this could be one of two things. Either one, are they going to share the same slot? Are they going to share the same spot? Meaning we get to play as two characters as one character. Meaning either Vice or Mature will be a puppet character, or guessing number two, these two will be in the independent characters, just like how they did in KOF 14. Is that they took individual characters into one image. So if that's the case, it's likely we're going to get two characters individually, or if not, we're going to get two characters in one spot, just like how they did in CVS. That they got Vice and not Mature in CVS. So that's one weird possibility. I don't know, but it could be possible that either Vice will be playable while Mature will be the puppet or it could be the other way around. I don't know. It's a weird position because there's never been a KOF game where you get to play two characters as one. It's gonna be weird because there's never been a puppet character ever in a King of Fighters series. In fact, we never gotten a puppet character in King of Fighters ever. So this may be the first game to have a puppet character. So I don't know if I don't know how it worked in a King of Fire game, more specifically 15. So I don't know how this gonna go. Or it could be, it's possible, and I don't know if it's possible that one of the characters will be an assist character. I don't know how they play, because if I do remember correctly, Vice is one of the more fan favorite characters aside from Mature. So I'm guessing Vice will be playable while Mature will be like the puppet or the assist, while Vice will be the one will be controlling. So that's my guess per se. I don't know how is this gonna go. And of course, this will be revealed tomorrow at the time of this recording, 7 p.m. on the SNK developer panel, which is EVO, which I'm not invited. So, if that's the case, we get to see how they play in the upcoming developer panel in EVO. Of course, there's the upcoming City of the Wolves game, so we're going to get another announcement from that. So I'm going to be watching and reacting to that stream. Of course, along with that, we're going to do a tournament reaction. So, along with the character announcements, we're going to do a maybe a trailer announcements with both City of the Wolves and Season 3 of King of Fighters. But we're also going to do a tournament view play of the tournaments themselves to watch the entire. Of course, this will be, and I'm gonna say this will be a Twitch exclusive VOD that I'm not or never gonna publish in YouTube, because we don't know how the copyright laws that YouTube will ever do. But I'm going to do a we're going to do a live reaction of the Evo tournament play of the City of the Wolves, or excuse me, King of Fighters 15, because I forgot City of the Wolves is not out yet. So we're going to do a live reaction of that tourney. Like, never done a live reaction of that, so this will be a good chance to do that. And this will be exclusively live on Twitch. This will not be published anywhere on YouTube or any other sites. So there you go. But anyways, that's all I got covered for today. Thank you all for coming to the stream. If you like my content, feel free to give a follow, hit the bell for notifications, and share the stream on Twitch. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if you like my content, feel free to give a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and share the video. Anyways, that's all I gotta say. See you all tomorrow on Evo. And we're going to live react to the competition of Evo. More specifically, King of Fighters, Red and Blue, not Mortal Kombat, and probably Street Fighter, because there's going to be and I hope we get to see a trailer announcement for Terry Bogard for Street Fighter 6. I do want to play Terry in Street Fighter 6, and oh my god, give us Terry already! Give us the Terry news! But anyways, that's all that I gotta say for today. This is Jokeball, signing out, and see you all on the Evo Live Tournament.